Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome to the weekly Nintendo News Roundup Live, where each and every week the All-In crew breaks down the week in Nintendo news, typically on Fridays at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. We're doing it a little early this week because tomorrow here on the YouTube channel, I'm going to be streaming Bomb Rush Cyberpunk for a large portion of the day. So that's what's going on.
Like if it's Friday, he's streaming it. Like it's all day. This is a game that Seth has been looking forward to for some time. Let's just say some time. But yes, that is why we are doing it tonight instead of tomorrow, because tomorrow it's all Bomb Rush all the time. But that doesn't mean we don't have a few things to talk about today, Seth. However, before we do that, we've got to talk about the most important thing.
We do. Our patrons.
The patrons.
That's right. At patreon.com/allinpodcast. Huge shout outs and thanks to the friends and supporters who throw us a few bones over there. Especially our Golden Banana tier supporters like Rob Yapel, Third Strongest Mole, Sean, Shano, Baggins, Ashton, Tim A, aka NeoPrime33, aka Nintendo Dad number 4, Matt, Shy Guy City Murray, Phelan Ward, Bill Tucker, Marcus O'Neill, Liam D, Bowza, Gamer, Jason, Andrew Wilkins, and Foolish Fuji. Big thanks to our Golden Banana bunch. Moving to our Triforce tier. Want to thank Josh Vaughn, the godfather of Tingle Love Tuesday. Want to thank John Datfast Cummins of the Retro Logic podcast, as well as the On Topic Retro podcast. The Globetrotting Jet Setting Nintendo Hub and Sparky of the Nintendo Hub right here on YouTube. Adam Caparello from Retro Groove, as well as Octorock 1982 here on YouTube. Shy Guy, the other half of our Shy Guy mod squad. Thank you, Shy Guy. Danielina Hosa, Dan and Luma, Solo Something, and the legend himself.
The Bomb Rush Cyberpunk in human form, Uncle Randy.
Shout outs to Uncle Randy, man. We love you, Uncle Randy. And yes, hey, shout outs to everybody hanging out. Presto the Magnificent here in the live chat, who's joining us, I believe, for the first time live, who says, I didn't know that there was a video part to the intro. So there you go. There is indeed. If you watch the video version hanging out with us live here on YouTube, you get to see the little video component that I whipped up some time ago.
You get to see how the sausage gets made a little bit over here.
There's even a special Halloween version of the intro that is only ever present on the Halloween episode. So you'll have to wait until Halloween for that. Halloween's coming up.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You and I love our spooky season. We got a few things that we're thinking about. Mayhaps have to do another game. Mayhaps have to have a couple some spooky indie showcases. Mayhaps, chance.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens, man. I'm excited. But this week in Nintendo news is what I like to call a big week for headlines. There's a lot of headlines this week. So what do you say we get into them, my friend?
Yes, there's a lot more to talk about in this shortened week for us than I was really expecting, but a lot of it is super fun, not nearly as down as last week was. So let's go ahead and talk about it.
I tried something different to see if Navi was going to work. I tried. I don't know why. Navi has not been working lately. Audio, people watching the video version, I got to figure that out. What's going on with Navi? But anyways.
I don't know, but anyway, Seth, let's talk about that Splatoon mini direct that we watched this morning. I mean, there must have been one, right? There must have been.
We should say it wasn't literally a mini direct. It was basically, and they do this every few months or so. They release like a trailer for their new season of content. And this morning's was no different, but the sort of point of difference was they also dropped news about the next Splatfest, new amiibo, stuff that, it could have probably been a mini direct if they wanted it to be.
Yeah. If they had news about Side Order, they might have actually made a mini direct. But let's go ahead and jump into what was actually shown off this morning for the upcoming first anniversary celebration of Splatoon 3. First and foremost, we have a new season of content coming to the game, which is being entitled Drizzle Season.
Yeah.
I kind of like that. That's cool. We're getting 2 brand new stages, Crab Lake Capital and Ship-Shape Cargo. Crab Lake Capital kind of gave me some Moray Towers vibes. I was kind of getting thrown back to Smash Brothers a little bit, but looks pretty cool. I dig it. And then the ship-shaped cargo company, I really like. It basically just takes place on this massive cargo ship, and you got these little octolings on the side, or little squids, eating out of their little ramen bowls. It's absolutely adorable. But new multiplayer stages, obviously, with their own fun little gimmicks, own little design quirks. But in addition to that, we've got new weapons. A couple new weapons, a new paint bucket, new double shot paint bucket that looks pretty cool. A new minigun that actually looks really cool. Talk about some rapid fire on that thing. But there's some really interesting guns. There's some really interesting stages. But that's not it.
Yeah, I mean they're also adding a new salmon run stage. It's the usual suspects. This is kind of like the way they go when they drop a new season of content. Yeah. It's new stages.
Catalog.
Yeah, new catalog, new clothes. One thing that is funny, Presto in the chat, we got more Splatoon news than Pokemon news at the Presents last week. Yeah, you're not wrong. And the new weapons are cool, the new stages are cool. One thing that a lot of Splatoon fans are kind of latching onto is the ability to change your gear a little bit.
Gear. Yeah.
You can put your hat backwards now. I don't know what other, things are going to be able to do with that, but it looks like on the gear screen you can just hit a button basically and change what the piece of gear in question does. So I'm going to be curious to see how far they go with that. But that's neat. More customization options are always cool. More table turf cards, are being added, which is another thing. This is, I mean, if you're not somebody who keeps up with Splatoon, every 4 months or so, we get a new season of content, and it is a pretty substantial, I mean, to the game's credit, they do support this game very heavily.
Yeah.
So,
it's a little bit more of everything. More stages, more weapons, more clothing, more table turf, more salmon run. There's even new work outfits for the new salmon run stuff. There's a ton of new stuff that they're adding to the game, and that's not all. That's not all. In addition to all of the Drizzle season goodness that was dropped this morning, we also got the first anniversary Splatfest, which is happening. That begins September 8th, and it goes from September 8th through the 10th. And of all the Splatfests that have happened in the first year, this is the one that I am by far most emotionally invested in. This is between the three members of Deep Cut, Shiver, Fry, and Big Man. And some people have mistakenly read it as who would be the best leader. No, it's who's the best. It's who's the best member of Deep Cut. Some people mistakenly read it as who would make the best leader, but we all know what really is going to go on in the Splatfest, Seth.
Yeah, well, yeah. Hey, Mute Dog. Mute Dog's in the chat. What's up, Mute Dog?
What's up, bud?
I think it might be one of Mute Dog's first time seeing. We got some first time folks hanging out here on
That's what happens on Thursday.
Yeah. I guess so. Yeah. Thanks for coming out, guys. Yeah, I think Shiver has won the vast majority of the Splatfests, the vast majority. Which is there. It could be down to the items that they associate with her, the things that they associate, but it's gonna be really interesting. Hey, Mr. T214 was behind in the current catalog, but I think I'm going to make it to 100 before the new season. Can Big Man lose? That's kind of where we're at. I feel like we as a society, we need to do it for Big Man. Big Man has not won nearly enough of these, and he needs the W, I think. I don't think he'll be able to recover.
Big Man sad?
If he doesn't win this, how is he going to recover emotionally?
And all joking aside, yes, they did try to bottlenose it into this idea of who would be the best leader as opposed to just blanketly who is your favorite of the three. But I mean, this is probably, unless they do these specially for anniversaries, this might be the only time we get the Shiver, Fry, and Big Man Splatfest in any respect. So even though they tried to create their own category for this, I think a lot of people are just going to default to whoever their favorite is. Yeah. So, I mean, you can, And that I think is weird because you will have people out there that make the choice based on the letter of the law. It's like, oh, I think within that, this character would be the best leader. And I think it's gonna weirdly skew people's choices because you're gonna have a lot of people that are picking based on the actual wording of the Splatfest, and then you're just going to have a bunch of people picking their favorite regardless of what's going on anyway. So I don't know if that's going to cause a huge skew in the results, but regardless, we know who needs to win, Seth. We need to do it for him.
I agree. Hey, Bowser's in the chat too. What's up, Bowser? I think that something that a lot of people are not, and I'm not trying to posit that this is what they're going to do here, but something that I'm not seeing many people point out though is that, you know, oftentimes when it comes to these, well, not even just that, when it comes to like major Splatfests like this, they're character based. Splatoon has been known to base the lore of the world around their results. You know, like pretty famously at the final Splatfest of Splatoon 1, pit, you know, Callie and Marie effectively against each other, and that formed the story of Splatoon 2. And you know, they're no strangers to doing this. Order versus chaos in Splatoon 2 ended up informing what will eventually become the side order story DLC for Splatoon 3 whenever that happens. And that's what kind of thrust the world into chaos and post-apocalypse. Like, these Splatfests do inform the lore of Splatoon at large, and a lot of times they're like silly, goofy little things, but who knows what happens to the winner or loser. And again, I'm not trying to posit that this is going to be considered like, but it could be. You know, my point is that it could be. They could do whatever they wanted to based on the sort of reaction to this Splatfest. It could be that they're hanging on to side order a little bit longer to see if they want to work that in, you know, into something. Who knows? So
Big Man loses another one. He's going to do a heel turn. Nobody loves me.
Yeah, maybe. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot they could do, and again, I don't know that they will. True. But you know, it's interesting to think about, and yeah, I mean, I'm Team Big Man all the way. There's not a question in my mind. I hope to see people fighting for Big Man out there because Big Man needs it. It's unfair.
I'm 6'6". If I knew nothing about the game, I would be Team Big Man.
Yeah. Well, in addition to the Splatfest, that's again from September 8th through 10th.
Yes, just a couple weeks away now.
Not too far away. I don't know if we said or not, but the Drizzle season kicks off September 1st. So that in itself is kicking off very soon. In addition to that, in November, on November 17th, Deep Cut are finally getting their own amiibo, which, you know, has been a long time coming. It kind of needed to happen. So.
It has. And what is it about the new figures just look better and better and better. These Deep Cut amiibo figurines look amazing. They look so good. And Big Man, I'm glad. I was a little concerned about whether or not they were going to size down Big Man to a more traditionally sized amiibo. And I'm really glad to see that, no, all three figures are scaled to, you know, their appropriate size proportions. Big Man is scaled to Shiver and Fry. You know, they're not going to be the same size figures. Big Man's getting a little bit bigger. Like his single box, the singles are only going to be released in Japan apparently, but his single box looks like it could actually house all three.
Yeah. I think here it's a triple pack. So I don't know what the pricing of it's going to be. Who knows when pre-orders will be turned on for it, but yeah, it's cool. It was high time, you know, that they got their own amiibo. And amiibo functionality in Splatoon is pretty cool. For anybody who has engaged with it, you can scan the amiibo and actually pose and take pictures with the characters, in addition to unlocking new gear that is exclusive to the amiibo. So amiibo functionality in Splatoon is actually quite cool. So I'm excited to see what gear is unlocked.
The masks.
Probably. Yeah, the masks they all have.
Yeah, I've got to imagine it's their masks. At the very least, I'm sure that's not going to be the only thing. Yeah. But, I mean, that's just the one that you know, really sits out of my mind, especially since all three figures are holding their masks. So, like, that's a pretty big clue right there. But regardless, I'm happy that they're all still getting it. I've had my Callie and Marie amiibo since Splatoon 1. I've had my Pearl and Marina amiibo since Splatoon 2. I'm really happy to finally be able to complete the trifecta. I
Mm-hmm.
guess.
Yep. Really cool. But yeah, a lot of Splatoon news sort of out of nowhere. But there's a lot of little headlines of things getting dates and
Oh yeah.
new information that we should hit. I got here. This is a press release we got earlier this week. We talked about this on the show recently. Digital Eclipse's The Making of Karateka.
Yep.
And I just wanted to kind of relay this because it was dated for August 29th on other consoles. It is releasing on Switch later at some point in September, and we will have coverage of this game when it comes out. So I just want to, prep y'all for that. Look forward to that. We will be able to show off this game and talk about it when the game comes out on Switch. So look forward to that. But
weird. I like Karateka is not exactly going to be a console pushing game. So I do wonder what about this package is pushing back the Nintendo Switch date. I wonder if there's just so much in terms of video files and file size. I wonder if there's just so much like documentary footage and again, just video files that that the Nintendo Switch is having a bit of a hard time. I've got to imagine that's it because again, this is a very old game that just by itself, even if you had 100 different versions of it on this cart, it shouldn't be pushing it like that. So again, that's my thought process.
Yeah. And it could also be that they're, I imagine, I'm not trying to, I don't know this. I don't have any like insider knowledge, but I imagine that there will be a physical version like through LRG or somebody like that. One of their partners, Digital Eclipse, works with them a lot.
Yep.
And it could be that they're timing the Switch version to the planned launch of that. Like it could be that they're saying, hey, let's go ahead and put these other versions out. But in September is when like the Switch cart production is able to sort of catch up. And that is when we're going to launch it so that we can say, hey, buy it and then buy it physically through LRG or whoever. There could be a million little things, but regardless, it's coming out on Switch in September and you'll hear us talk about it for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Very much looking forward to this idea of the Gold Master Series that Digital Eclipse has announced. Very much looking forward to Karateka and other forthcoming games in the same series.
We're supposed to hear about another one this year as well. So we don't know what that is yet, but we are supposed to hear about it, another one at some point later this year. We also got a release date for the Batman Arkham Trilogy. That's coming October 13th. Perfect time.
Of course,
for that game to come out the week before Mario Wonder. Why not?
Why not?
But yeah, that's coming. I will say one thing to note about this. If you're getting Batman Arkham Trilogy physically, Arkham Asylum is the only one complete on card. So if you are a physical collector, just know that going in, there is required download of Arkham City and Arkham Asylum. So, or Arkham Knight rather. So just do be aware of that.
Yes, but especially with another very high-profile game coming out on the Nintendo Switch this week, I'll be very interested to see how this version of the game holds up and how it translates to Nintendo's hybrid console. In terms of what they've tweaked, they haven't really spoken too much to any remasterings or gameplay tweaks or anything like that, right? It's essentially just ports of the 3 titles.
I think so. Yeah.
I mean, that being said, that's fine. All 3 titles are fantastic. Look forward to that on October 13th. I do wonder if that had some small thing to do with Alan Wake getting pushed back, but never mind.
I don't think so. Alan Wake got delayed a couple weeks, but I think that was more so just because of like Spider-Man. Like it was, otherwise going to be coming out the same time as that. So I don't think they're super scared about the Batman Arkham Trilogy on Nintendo Switch. I'm looking forward to it. And like you were kind of alluding to Red Dead Redemption earlier, which came out this week, and we'll talk about that a little bit when we get to notable releases. But yeah, by all accounts, that's like a good port because they didn't really do anything to it. They just carried it over, and it's just on Switch, and it's like one of those situations where it's like if you don't muck around with it too much, then like you can like bring these things over just fine, and it doesn't have to be like some remastered treatment. It could actually just be the game. So I kind of hope that's the treatment here, to be honest with you, because those games are good as is.
Yeah, so. I have seen a little bit of a dialogue pop up about with such old games, just simply porting them over with doing almost nothing besides that.
Mhm.
But, I think that's a much deeper conversation for another time. But
Maybe.
was especially when it comes to the Batman Arkham, like if it started out as a 9.5 out of 10, I'm perfectly happy with just a straight port. And especially in regards to Arkham City, like that's exactly what it was. Arkham Asylum and Arkham Knight are absolutely no slouches either. But yeah, those games I'm perfectly fine with just them porting without having to remaster or adding in any new content or anything. And very much looking forward to seeing how those stack up. There's so much, especially with all the DLC, for all of those games and all the different costumes and fan service and extra challenges and everything like that. Those are going to be fun to jump back into.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my reaction to that notion of like is it worth it if all they're doing is just like kind of carrying it over? Like my reaction to people saying that is just like, why do you care? Just don't buy it. Like if that's not what you're interested in, just don't buy it and move on with your life. Like, but there are a lot of people that are Switch owners who never got a chance to play these, know? So like if they come over with a solid port on Switch, and I think it's going to be rad to have these games in handheld. Like if this runs well, I'll be very excited about it personally. These games are great. So, but we'll see. October 13th.
Not gonna lie, it would be cool, like especially for the detective stuff, if you had like touchscreen functionality. That'd be cool. I'm just
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not necessarily expecting that, but we'll see.
No, neither
am
I. Neither am I whatsoever. But speaking of comic book heroes, Seth, this DLC for Shredder's Revenge looks so good. Oh my lord, it looks so good. We knew it was coming soon, but sure enough, we actually got a date for the brand new TMNT Shredder's Revenge DLC, and we finally got it dated. It's actually coming out August 31st, this month, just a couple weeks away as we're recording this right now, 2 weeks away. 2 Thursdays from now, and I cannot wait. They finally revealed the, presumably final character of this DLC, and that is Karai. Karai, Shredder's daughter, kind of anti-hero member of the Foot Clan, and I'm super happy about this, especially since the mid-2010s, Nickelodeon series. Karai's been getting, I think, a lot more noticeable. She's been in the limelight quite a bit more. A lot more people know who the character is. So I'm excited for her. I always like it when slightly more obscure characters get to come to the forefront. But honestly, aside from Usagi Yojimbo and Karai, this dimension hopping DLC and this ridiculous amount of new skins and colors for these turtles, and the fact that you can somehow transform or somehow control the boss characters from the game, it looks just stunning. It looks absolutely amazing. They look like they have colors and costume options that range from 8-bit versions that look like they're back on the TMNT arcade game NES and TMNT 3 Manhattan Project. They look like they actually have skins based on the rise of the TMNT cartoon. They look like they have skins based on the old black and white Eastman and Laird comic books. It looks so cool. The Dotemu and Tribute are even posting like super obscure things, like the interdimensional cow head that the turtles used to travel through dimensions with, that like I thought I was literally the only person on Earth who was even still aware of that character. So the deep cut references and the clear passion and everything that they're doing with this new DLC, like if they made a new physical edition with all of this included, I'd probably re-get it. Like, it's just so cool.
Yeah, it's going to be $7.99. Comes out August 31st. We got the release date this week as well. Little unfortunate timing, to be honest. August is kind of stacked.
Yeah.
But, very, very cool. Shoutouts to NI87 in the chat, coming in from Ireland. What's going on, NI87? Shoutouts to Ireland. Really
Good
cool.
evening.
First time watcher. This looks great. I mean, like this continues to look great. Shredder's Revenge is super fun. It's just a really solid, well-made TMNT beat 'em up. It's just easy to recommend to anybody. If you're a TMNT fan, there's no easier recommend than Shredder's Revenge. So
if you're even just a beat 'em up fan, it's just just as far as it being a beat 'em up goes, it's an amazing beat 'em up, and that's going up against a pretty stacked beat 'em up roster that the Nintendo Switch has garnered over the past couple of years. But it's so cool. It really is. If you haven't tried it out, I highly recommend it. But if you haven't, August 31st would absolutely be the perfect time to jump in. You can beat the arcade mode. You can beat the campaign, the story mode in just a few hours. But it looks like this survival mode that they're adding is going to add a ton of playtime to an already phenomenal package.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Get excited for that. You have this in, I don't know anything about this. Tell me about this Dawn of the Monsters Arcade Plus DLC pack.
Yeah, so Dawn of the Monsters, the kaiju beat 'em up. Speaking of beat 'em ups, we just talked about TMNT, but Dawn of the Monsters is a kaiju style beat 'em up from Way Forward that has had this big DLC update in the pipeline for some time. They even held a fan vote as to which new character should be included with the next DLC patch, and it wound up being this Voltron-esque Meteor Temujin, who will be added to the game when this DLC drops next week, next Thursday, August 24th. But it's not just the character. It is a multi-tiered update. It actually includes paid DLC, but there's also a free update. So as far as the paid DLC goes, you have a new character, the, again, Voltron-style Meteor Temujin. You've got an arcade mode that you can play through, which, as anybody who's played beat 'em up, campaign beat 'em ups, will probably be able to understand what the arcade mode is. But in addition to that, there's also 50 new skins for all the characters that are already in the game. That's 50 new skins for all the characters that are in the game. That's the paid DLC. As far as the free update goes, the free update, if you already have the game, is going to include new story plus. It's going to include new game plus, new game plus plus, and new game plus plus plus.
Nice.
So you're going to be replaying that game forever. But in addition to that, they're also going to have challenge trials. And for those who like a little bit more of an authentic kaiju flavor, they're adding Japanese voiceover to everything with the free update as well. So if you've got that, if you've got Dawn of the Monsters, there's a lot of reasons to come back to it. Even if you don't pick up the paid DLC, there's a lot of stuff coming to the free update as well. And that releases again next week, August 24th. I believe that's also $7.99. I'll have to double check that real quick.
Okay, nice. Well, we got that going on next week again. Not for nothing. August continues to be very stacked. Apparently, new Cult of the Lamb DLC also being revealed next week on the 21st, which they've had percolating for quite some time. So
yep.
Yeah, August, as if there wasn't enough to play.
Yeah, you got that, and then a new season of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, one of the most underrated fighting games on the Nintendo Switch. We're actually getting a reveal for the second season of that tomorrow, August 18th, as we're recording this episode. So by the time the weekend hits, by the time our next episode hits your feeds, we'll already know what the next season of content's going to look like for JoJo. But there's so much going on, man. There's so much in terms of DLC and releases and everything, and I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it. There's just too much, though. I love it, but it's too much.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time keeping up with even just what's been coming out this week. So as Presto points out, yeah, Seth's playing 3 games at once to get through them all at this point. You're not wrong, Presto. But speaking of that, let's hit these notable releases, shall we?
Yes, there's quite a few. This is an absolutely stacked week, and even though it hasn't technically come out yet, I mean, we kind of have to shout out Bomb Rush Cyberpunk as releasing this week. I think we should probably mention that.
Yeah, little teeny tiny game. It's a little bit of a big deal. My most anticipated game of the year with a bullet. I'm going to be streaming it, like I said, for a nice long stream tomorrow. Come hang out. From what I've heard, I don't know. I don't know for sure when it's hitting the eShop, But from what I've heard, we're expecting it sometime tomorrow morning. And I'm literally planning the second I can download it and fire up the stream, I am. So if you come through youtube.com/allinpodcast at some point tomorrow, Friday, August 18th, you will probably see me streaming Bomb Rush Cyberpunk there. So come hang out. Would love to see you there. I'm very, very excited for the game. So very much looking forward to it. But there's a couple other little teeny tiny games that have come out this week too.
Couple other little teeny tiny games. You guys definitely need to make sure to check out our new episode this coming Saturday, because we have a pretty jam-packed segment talking all about Marble It Up Ultra. We got the opportunity to talk with 4 members of the team, the founding 4 of the Marble Collective, and it was amazing. And turns out the game's really, really good. And if you are already a Marble It Up fan, if you've already purchased Marble It Up before on the Nintendo Switch, we have a very special surprise for you. The game is free.
Yep, free upgrade. If you own the original Marble It Up, you can upgrade to Ultra entirely for free, which is really cool, consumer friendly. I don't believe this is the case on Switch, but on other platforms, you can even download a demo for it. And this is the kind of game that I think that if you play the demo for 30 seconds, you'll know instantly if this game is for you or not. The game is incredible, and it's been really special to see the community latch onto it. There's a dedicated Marble It Up Ultra, forum thread, a game hub, in our Discord. So if you are a Marble It Up fan, we've got a free and welcoming Discord. The links are always in the video descriptions, and if you want to come share some times and arrange multiplayer sessions, I'm already at some point next week, I'll probably do a multiplayer session for the community.
So that's the thing. Like, Marble It Up Ultra doesn't just have a bunch of tracks that you can speed run and, boast about your times online. There's a brand new soccer mode. There's this zombie infected mode. There's some really interesting looking multiplayer modes in Marble It Up Ultra that we fully intend on checking out in the All-In community in the near future. Looks like it's super fun. There's a ton of different marbles and customization options and hats and different things that you can outfit your adorable little orb with. It's an incredibly cool, incredibly robust package.
Yeah, highly, highly recommend. And again, tune in to All In, a Nintendo podcast this week on Saturday to hear the biggest indie showcase we've ever done in the show's history, dedicated to this game. And I think that the love and the passion and the attention to detail going into this game is just staggering. And I think y'all will come away with a whole new appreciation for it. So definitely check that out. Of course, also earlier today, Vampire Survivors dropped on the Nintendo Switch. I put up a video on the YouTube channel of me playing, actually the first time I'd ever played Vampire Survivors. I'd never played it before either. I was kind of waiting. I knew it was going to come to Switch eventually. And turns out the hype is real. It's a very good and addicting game.
Dude, I knew I had to try it before we started recording tonight. I had seen just, clips here and there, and I'd heard all the superlatives being thrown around online. Like, it won the BAFTA Game of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd heard all this hype and everything. I was like, I've got to do at least one run. I've got to find out what everybody's talking about. So I jump in and I do a run, and I'm collecting power-ups and collecting gems and leveling up and living, and I'm like, this is all right. This is okay. And I play for about 10 minutes. That's where my first run ends. And I use my gems and my money to upgrade my character ever so slightly. I got the DLC as well. And I was like, okay, it's done. And then all of a sudden, like, I feel this itch in the back of my mind, like, must play again. Must play again. I'm like, oh no, it's got me already. Oh no. Oh no, it's got me already.
Yeah.
And I do think it is kind of funny because Vampire Survivors, like, it's not a very, deep game.
Walk.
Yeah, you just walk around. You attack automatically. It's not exactly an RTS over here. It's a very, very simple game, but with a simple game comes a simple price tag. It's only $5, and hilariously, it's on a launch discount right now, which, 50 cents off of a game on the eShop, I think, is hilarious. That's just me. The DLC is normally $2. Those are both on a 10% off launch discount, being a full whopping 20 cents off a piece. But yeah, even based on its normal pricing, you can get the game and currently 2 sets of DLC for just $9. And again, it looks like it's going to be one of those things that just eats away at your time. One of those games you just like, oh my God, how in the world have I already put 200 hours into this game already?
Yeah. Shout out Bowser in the chat says Vampire Survivors is deeper than you think. So I'm excited to see, how deep the rabbit hole goes with it. Presto makes the good point. Excited to try multiplayer for the first time today.
Yeah.
There is multiplayer
Yes.
in the game now. So that's also worth noting. Local multiplayer only. But yeah, you can play Vampire Survivors on your Nintendo Switch now in multiplayer, which is very, very cool. So
the Nintendo Switch, for our intents and purposes, is the big story. But yes, in addition to releasing on Switch today, that multiplayer DLC did also drop for the other platforms the game is on. So if you have it on other platforms, I'm excited for you guys to check out the new content.
Yep. Yeah, in addition to that, the Cosmic Wheel Sisterhood came out this week, which is one that I've had my eye on for a little bit. Sort of a deck building, like tarot card game / visual novel. Really cool, gorgeous art, kind of neat, like, witchy vibes from Devolver Digital. And I really want to check this one out. Looks cool.
Honestly, like, I kind of seen it a little bit over the past few months, but I've seen it 1,000 times over the past couple of days, just because apparently it's getting very well reviewed from a lot of different outlets. So, I mean, good reviews are really good press. I've been seeing it a lot just because people have been saying good things about it, and that alone makes me want to check it out. But that also came out from Devolver Digital this past week. Also want to make sure this might be the most important release of the past week. So I want to make sure that we shout out Black Skylands.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, most important release of the week. Yeah, you're right.
So, but I wanted to shout that out because it did come out, and our good friend Sparky, one of our patrons, the master of the Nintendo Hub, he actually put up a video. Neither Seth or I have played it, but a person that we respect the opinion of very much has put a video out on it. So if that is a game that came out this past week you're interested in, I highly recommend checking out his video, and that's really all I'm going to say on the matter.
Yeah, go over to the Nintendo Hub, check out Sparky's video. Sparky's there playing the game so we don't have to, man. Sparky's doing a service. And like, I mean, look, the game looked incredible. Like,
yeah, it did.
The
it
trailer
looked interesting.
Looked very good. So, but yeah, so check out Sparky's video. I'll leave it to that. Shout outs to Extreme Sports from Way Forward, the Game Boy Color sports RPG that was randomly ported to the Switch this week, because why not? Sure.
Because why not? Sure. I feel like that was just a passion project of someone like Matt Bozon or somebody who just had a big soft spot for that game. He was like, you know what? I just really like that game. I want to bring that back. And, Way Forward and Limited Run also helped publish it as well. So I'm sure that had a little something to do with it. But yeah, Game Boy Color sports RPG, Extreme Sports, that also released on the Nintendo Switch this week. So that's a thing that happened.
It is. And of course, we already talked about it a bit, but Red Dead Redemption is now available on the Nintendo Switch. $49.99 does include the Undead Nightmare DLC, one of the great DLC expansions of all time. And
you think so?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it's really, really strong. Especially like if you're trying to play something to get you into the mood for like spooky season, it's just this like cheesy grindhouse horror.
Yes, it is.
Really, really good. I love it a lot. So check that out if you have never played the game before and like this is your way to play Red Dead Redemption. $49.99 is kind of a steal, to be honest, for the amount of content that is in that game, and for the the fact that it's come over with no real issues. Like even looking at the game side by side with other versions of it, it looks like it runs pretty much at parity. So it seems like it's worth it. If it's up to you to decide if it's worth it or not, but if this is something that's in your wheelhouse, check it out. Red Dead Redemption, it's now something. And by the way, we talked about Arkham not having the full game on cart. It looks like this does.
Yeah, it does.
So, yeah,
so
very cool.
It doesn't have that DLC or doesn't have that download required tag that has kind of been the death knell for my collection bug a couple times, like with Life is Strange and like with Batman Arkham. But it looks like this game is full. I mean, it makes sense. It's effectively a PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 game, despite the fact that, yes, it does have the DLC included. But yes, it looks like it's the full game and DLC all on card. If you're interested now, the physical didn't come out this week. We still have to wait a little while on that, but a physical is coming for the game.
Yep. So look forward to that. That's notable releases, though, I think.
I believe it is too. Yeah, we've got Bomber Cyberpunk, Marble It Up Ultra, Vampire Survivors, The Cosmic Wheel Sisterhood, Red Dead Redemption, Extreme Sports, and of course, Black Skylands. So,
of course.
But yeah, of course. But guys, it's been an absolutely stacked week. There's been a ton of interesting stuff. We got a ton of stuff going on. Like next week is Gamescom. Capcom announced a new showcase coming later on this month. Or there's all kinds of stuff happening for the rest of the month. But let us know what you guys are up to this week, and make sure to reach out to us on Facebook and Twitter /X at All In Podcast. Join that amazing Discord community, especially if you're a Marble It Up fan. You should absolutely be in our Discord. Go ahead and join that. But since you're here, everybody who's watching us here on YouTube, go ahead, slam that like button, the subscribe, the bell, all that good stuff. Make sure you don't miss any of the amazing content that we drop here on the YouTube channel. And go ahead and check out Seth's video on Vampire Survivors that he uploaded earlier today. Go ahead and check that video out, showing off the brand new Nintendo Switch version of the BAFTA award-winning roguelike. Now, in addition to that, we produce a ton of content, weekly podcasts, videos, all kinds of stuff. But Seth, did you know that we actually produce exclusive content for our patrons?
I knew about that. I mean, sometimes it does, you get so busy making it, it feels like it's just sort of manifesting. But no, it is as a result of our hard work. So patreon.com/allinpodcast is the place to go. If you want to throw us a few bones for our hard work, we really appreciate it. A lot of the people hanging out with us here live tonight are patrons. We thank you and we appreciate you. So head over there, see which tier of support works for you. You can get a 7-day free trial to the Golden Banana tier and kind of see what the fuss is about. If you'd like to give that a shot, links to that are in the video description. So check that out, and of course, tune in to the main show tomorrow. Also, All In, a Nintendo podcast. You can also leave us 5-star reviews wherever you listen, and that's appreciated as well. So thank you.
Yeah, the main show is not dropping tomorrow. The main show is still dropping on Saturday. But yes, do please check that out. This episode is going to be really, really good. You guys definitely make sure to check out that massive jam-packed double stuffed Oreo version of the Indie Showcase that we have. We also have a really cool top 5, but we've got so much stuff going on. But before we say goodbye, we just want to send out a massive thank you to all of you amazing legendary patrons, to all of you who have dropped words on whatever podcast service you've listened to us on, for all of you who have picked up a piece of our merch at bit.ly/allinmerch, for all of you who have even just shared our content somewhere across this vast internet of ours. We would like to extend to you namaste.
Namaste, everybody. Thanks so much for coming out. We got a lot of first-time chatters here tonight. We had, before the stream even went live, somebody named Charn Towers came in with like some angry face emojis. Must not be a big man fan. Presto was in here. Mute Dog was in here. Mr. T214 was in here. Bowza, NI87. So big thanks to everybody who came out tonight. We really appreciate y'all. Again, tomorrow, Bomb Rush Cyberpunk stream happening right here. So tune in tomorrow if you want to see that game on the Nintendo Switch. Again, like and subscribe before you head out. All In a Nintendo podcast drops on Saturday, and it's going to be a good one. You're not going to want to miss it. Links to that are in the video description as well. But until next time, we're out. Bye, everybody.
Have a great weekend, everybody. It's a special weekend.